Ever sent a Venmo payment and held your breath, wondering if it actually went through? Like, is that money really gone, or is it just floating in some digital limbo? You hit pay, you see the little confetti, but is it instant? Or are we just being fooled by a fancy animation? We've all been there, right? That awkward moment at the restaurant when you're splitting the bill, and you're waiting for that confirmation text that never seems to arrive. Or the slight panic when you're paying a friend back for that concert ticket, and you're not entirely sure if they actually got it. In a world that demands instant gratification, especially when it comes to money, Venmo promises convenience. But does it truly deliver on the instant part? Let's be honest, the idea of instant anything in the financial world is a bit of a myth. Banks, transactions, and digital platforms all have their own behind-the-scenes processes. It's not simply a matter of pressing a button and poof, money magically transfers. There are security checks, verification procedures, and the sheer volume of transactions happening at any given moment to consider. So, today, we're diving deep into the heart of Venmo's payment system. We're going to unpack the mystery behind that instant illusion and figure out what's really happening when you send money through the app. We'll look at the factors that can affect the speed of a transaction, the potential delays you might encounter, and, most importantly, how to ensure your payments go through smoothly. First, let's address the elephant in the digital room, what Venmo tells you versus what actually happens. Venmo's interface is designed to be user-friendly and reassuring. When you send a payment, you're greeted with that celebratory confetti and a payment sent notification. This is intended to give you immediate feedback, to let you know that the process has begun. However, this doesn't necessarily mean the money has instantly landed in the recipient's bank account. This initial notification simply signifies that Venmo has initiated the transaction. It's like sending a letter. You've dropped it in the mailbox, but it's not at its destination yet. The actual transfer of funds involves several layers. Venmo essentially holds the money in its own system until it can be processed and transferred to the recipient's linked bank account. This process can be influenced by a number of variables, including the type of bank accounts linked, the time of day, and even Venmo's own internal security measures. One of the most significant factors affecting transfer speed is the type of funding source you use. If you're using a debit card or your Venmo balance, the transaction tends to be quicker. These funding sources are directly linked to your available funds, allowing Venmo to verify and process the payment more efficiently. However, if you're using a bank account, things can get a bit more complex. Bank transfers, by their nature, are subject to processing times that can vary depending on the bank's policies and procedures. This is where the instant promise starts to blur. Venmo states that standard transfers from your Venmo balance to your bank account typically take 1 to 3 business days. This is a crucial point to remember. While the initial payment to another user within Venmo might appear instant, the movement of funds between Venmo and external bank accounts is subject to standard banking timelines. Another factor to consider is Venmo's security measures. Venmo employs a variety of security protocols to protect users from fraud and unauthorized transactions. These measures can sometimes result in delays, especially for larger transactions or transactions that trigger red flags. For instance, if you're sending a large sum of money to a new contact, Venmo might hold the transaction for review to ensure it's legitimate. This is a safety precaution, but it can understandably cause frustration if you're expecting an immediate transfer. Similarly, if you're sending a payment outside of typical banking hours or on a weekend, the transaction might be delayed until the next business day. This is because banks often process transactions in batches during specific hours. So, what can you do to ensure your Venmo payments go through as smoothly and quickly as possible? First and foremost, make sure your Venmo account is linked to a reliable funding source. A debit card or your Venmo balance will generally result in faster transactions than a bank account. Secondly, double-check the recipient's information before sending the payment. A simple typo in their username or phone number can result in delays or even failed transactions. Thirdly, be aware of Venmo's transfer limits and potential holds. If you're sending a large sum of money, be prepared for the possibility of a review and potential delays. Fourthly, understand the difference between the instant notification within Venmo and the actual transfer of funds to a bank account. Remember that bank transfers are subject to standard banking timelines. Finally, if you're in a hurry, consider using Venmo's instant transfer feature. For a small fee, you can expedite the transfer of funds to your linked debit card, typically within 30 minutes. This can be a useful option when you need the money quickly. It's also worth noting that Venmo is constantly evolving. The platform is continuously updating its systems and processes to improve speed and efficiency. So, while the instant promise might not always be entirely accurate, Venmo is working to streamline the process and minimize delays. In essence, Venmo payments appear to go through immediately. You receive the confirmation, and the recipient is notified. But the actual transfer of funds to their bank account is subject to various factors, including the funding source, security measures, and bank processing times. The key takeaway is to manage your expectations. Venmo is a convenient tool for quick payments, but it's not a magic wand. Understanding the underlying processes can help you avoid frustration and ensure your transactions go smoothly. Don't let the confetti fool you, but don't let it discourage you either. Venmo is a powerful tool for modern transactions. It's about understanding the nuances of how it works, knowing the limitations, and leveraging the tools to your advantage. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.